Man.
From the top. Live from the gift shop of the Richmond Flying Squirrel Stadium, it's Semi-Regular
Wednesdays!
It's our 90th remote show, and tonight we're putting the spotlight on the Commonwealth of Virginia with our special guests, Zach Zimmerman, Rachel Dunbar, Kim Villamera, Francesca Lyn, and Winston Hodges. And now, available for Civil War reenactments, Bodi Shak bangers.
Woohoo!
Good evening, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, good. Thanks. The gift shop of the Richmond Flying Squirrels. It's Semi-Regular.
I think someone...
Yeah, I love that reverb effect.
I know, no kidding.
Yes. The magic of doing a live comedy show. Sometimes you get all the cool technical glitches. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who do not know Dan and myself, we are Bodi Shak bangers. We have been performing together for almost 8 years. We are an improv duo based out of Chicago, and we have been doing Zoom shows for almost a year now. If you can fathom that. I would say 11.5 months, but it just seems cleaner to just say almost a year. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. This is the latest in a series of geography themed shows that we've been doing. And I do have a clarification to make, depending on what part of Virginia you're in. It's either the Civil War or the War of Northern Aggression. But I digress. Serves me right for not doing all of my homework. So we have a whole, this really amazing lineup of comics. They're going to be telling jokes that all happen to be from the great Commonwealth of Virginia. But Dan, if you could say a few words about some of the small businesses that we're supporting, as well as some ongoing fundraisers.
Yes, of course, Stuart. If you look down below, there's a little banner that's playing, and it's playing a lot of small businesses and fundraisers that Stuart and I think are important to promote at this time. First, there's a GoFundMe organized by the comedian Chris Redd. Chris Redd is trying to raise money for Black Lives Matter protesters who happen to contract COVID-19. You can find a link to the GoFundMe in the description of this event. Second, there is the bar that Stuart and I usually host this show at, Shakers on Clark. Shakers on Clark has a GoFundMe, an active GoFundMe, to try to give tips for their bar staff. You can find a link to that GoFundMe in the description as well. And also, I would say that if you are at home and you are having an alcoholic beverage, I would recommend that whatever money that you would have given to a bar, you can give to Shakers. Third, there is a really great gym that I go to. It's called Bodi Shak. Bodi Shak offers really great fitness classes, and they currently have both a GoFundMe as well as I have the link to their website if you do want to sign up for classes. Yeah, they're really great, serve the Uptown community, and it's Black owned. Next, there is First Sip Cafe. First Sip Cafe is a really great coffee and tea shop in Asia and Argyle, right off the Argyle Red Line in Chicago. I have a link in the description to get gift cards if that's something you're interested in. They have curbside pickup and takeout right now. Last and certainly not least, there is the comedy school that Stuart and I have been studying at for 7 years now, and that is One Group Mind. One Group Mind currently is revamping their comedy school. They are offering different tracks in improv, stand-up, and theatricals. You can study one, you can study all of them, and you can also, and this is also for varying like degrees of expertise, I guess you could say. You know, you can start at different levels depending on where you are in your comedy journey, if that's something you want to do. Anywhere from beginner to, I think the top one is artisan or something. Yeah. So other than that, I would say that if you are watching the stream and you want to get a shout out, or you want to just let the comics know you're there, be sure to either like the stream or comment on it on YouTube, or like or comment on Facebook as well. I'll be sure to try to like call people out and tell the comics who's watching in between acts. Yeah, that's it. Back to you, Stuart.
Yep. If any questions, comments, arguments, grievances, nitpicks, just let us know. Heck, we'll even take brand muffin recipes.
That's true. Yeah.
We tend to keep an open mind in that regard. So normally when I do these, or when we do these geography themed comedy shows, I try to find something to wear that coincides with the geography. Like I was able to find like an Iowa Hawkeye shirt for when we did our All Iowa show. I've done similar things for when we did All Ohio, All Michigan, All California, and so forth. This was the closest that I could get to something for Virginia. Now, again, technically, Washington Nationals obviously play in a district that is bordering the state of Virginia, but obviously tonight's focus is on the area that is several hundred miles to the southwest of Washington, D.C. I think for a time I thought that the Nationals played in a stadium that was on the Virginia side of the DC suburbs, but I guess not. It is in DC city limits. But this will have to suffice. Otherwise, I was going to have to cough up $25 for a Hokie shirt online.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. I'm also just, hey, we're all watching our money though. Nevertheless, we have a wonderful show for you this evening. Closing out the night are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Wednesdays, Flower Shop Bangers.
Woo!
Doing a 15-minute improv set. Immediately before the Bangers, we have our old friend from Roanoke, Zach Zimmerman.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, Zach.
Comedy himself. Right before Zach, we have another comic who's been in our show once before, presently in Boston, but originally from Arlington, Virginia. Rachel Dunbar.
Yeah, Rachel.
Right before Rachel, we have we have three comics in a row that have Richmond connections. We have Francesca Lyn.
Woo!
Woo.
Woo! Yay!
Then her associate from the RVA comedy scene, Kim Villamera.
Woo!
Woo!
And now leading us off is a comic who is presently based in Richmond, but grew up, I think you mentioned this before the show, I want to say on the Kentucky-Virginia border. Is that correct?
Not that far, but you know what? You knew it was the middle of nowhere, and
Yes.
I appreciate that general idea.
Okay. So somewhere like in the Appalachians?
Farmville, Virginia is where
Yeah.
I grew up going.
Farmville.
Yeah, Farmville, Virginia. It's not
Interesting.
Based off of the
Facebook.
Facebook game.
Yep, it's actually.
Right.
We
I was
were
going to say,
there
is that right
first,
next to Bejeweled?
yeah, it's based off of Bejeweled. Yeah, it's real.
Okay. Yes. And Candy Crush is a couple miles south of that. Please welcome to our show, Winston Hodges.
Yeah, that's me.
Yay, Winston.
Yeah, originally, I'm from a place that's so small that I just tell people I'm from the closest, biggest city, and it's just unfortunate that the biggest city was Farmville. That's pretty much the type of guy that I am. I can explain Farmville just really quickly to y'all. Farmville is America's first two-college town. It is also the only two-college town where I feel like the schools were created to keep the books away from the townspeople. I feel like that is almost the real vibe that they had. Yeah, it's pretty much just built these buildings to keep Kurt Vonnegut sealed up in the giant tower. Yeah, Farmville, Virginia has one American flag. It is flown in the Ruby Tuesdays parking lot. And last time I was home, there was a national tragedy and the American flag was at half mast, but the Ruby Tuesdays flag was not. So that's kind of the energy they rock with at the Farmville Ruby Tuesdays. I think it's because half price apps never die. And we should always remember that. And I went to a very small private school in Farmville. I went to a school where I graduated with 38 other people. And every year our school had a fundraiser, and the fundraiser was a skeet shooting competition that they would do on campus. That's right. All of y'all went to schools that were like, you better not bring a gun here. And I went to the school that was like, you better not bring a gun here unless you have enough to share with the rest of the class. So if you got guns for everybody, you can do that. But yeah, that's where I'm from. But we'll talk about some other stuff now. I've been watching a ton of serial killer documentaries on Netflix. I'm a big fan of those. They're pretty amazing. It's pretty much the best thing to watch when you're alone with your thoughts during a pandemic. I think it's really positive for your self-image and things. Here's the thing I've realized when I watch those documentaries, that I view the killer very differently, whether it's a man or a woman. Every time it's a male serial killer and it's killed a bunch of women, I'm always like, oh no, what a monster. How could he do this? And every time it's a female serial killer who's killed a bunch of men, I'm just like, oh no, what the fuck did those guys do? What did they do though? Like they did something, right? Like there has to be. And people are like, no, she killed. I was like, well, let's hold on and let's hear her out. Why did you sub 37 men into a meat grinder? What was your reasoning behind this, Meredith? Oh my gosh, didn't give you a card on Valentine's Day? Yeah, we're gonna throw this one right out. That's legal. You can totally kill someone over that. Because I know most like straight like dudes have been in a relationship or a situation where like we were very close to being a chalk outline in one of those documentaries. Man, there's a lot of times where guys are just in a kitchen and they're just like, you don't even know how to hold a butcher knife. Stab, stab, stab. Just mansplaining your way directly into a crime scene. There's plenty of guys that like to do that. I used to teach. I don't teach anymore. I quit teaching when I moved to Arlington, Virginia. I quit teaching at my school in Richmond, and I gave a 2 weeks notice last year, which is amazing that teachers are allowed to give a 2 weeks notice in America, because teachers are not the type of people that should be allowed around children 2 weeks after we've fucking given up. That is not really the people that you need around kids, because you can unmold a shitload of minds over the course of 10 business days. You can really knock it out of the park. And I did. I got to teach the things I wanted to teach, because I was like, what are they going to do? Fire me? That's not going to happen. I didn't listen to the IEP or the lesson plan for my students. No, I taught what I wanted to teach. One of my kids came in and was like, Mr. Hodges, what are we going to learn how to do today? And I was like, well, put your mask on, because we're learning how to throw tear gas back at the cops. So let's hop in the bus and let's go. Let's do this thing. It's weird, man. Like, cause it's like, I definitely was for the statues being taken down. It makes perfectly good sense to me. But like, I knew a lot of people that I was close with and friends with that said we should not take these statues down, because if you tear these statues down, you will forget your history. And I had to be like, that is not how statues or memories work. That's not how either of those things work at all. Like, that's crazy that you have some sort of concrete related Alzheimer's, that you think that is what would go on. No, that's not how it works, man. But it would be beautiful if it did. I would love to be able to tear down a Robert E. Lee statue and forget 30 years of Virginia Civil War education. Oh my gosh. Look at me, man. I can't look like this and sound like this and also know that Robert E. Lee's horse's name was Traveler. That's not a piece of information you can get away with. That's not a fun time. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's on Jeopardy, and when Ken Jennings is like, this was the single, and I'm like, hold up, Ken, bloodiest day of the Civil War? Well, that's Antietam. The bloodiest 2 days of the Civil War? Well, that's the Battle of Shiloh. Oh, the bloodiest 3 days of the Civil War? That's Gettysburg. And Ken, I just want to let you know, we won all 3 of those. Because when you know that information and you look and sound like I do, everyone has to get on Wikipedia and check, what side is he talking about? Which side of the war? When he said we won, which is that? It's the North. Don't worry, don't have to do that. I don't know, man. I also am. I turned 30 last year, and I'm a 30-year-old that doesn't really drink. I don't really drink a lot anymore, and it's weird because it's like I still like going to parties, and when you see a 30-year-old at a party and they're not drinking, it means one of two things about that dude, right? Because on one hand, if a 30-year-old is at a party not drinking, it either means he's never been fun a single day in his entire life, or B, it means the courts have decided he's a lot of fun. That guy is actually the most fun of all time. He was so much fun that the state had to get a jury of his peers to tell him he needed to take 5 to 10 years off of partying. It's like, oh my God, that guy is a blast. That's amazing. There's just two very different stories when you're like asking those dudes why they don't drink, right? You go up to one guy and you're like, hey, Mark, why aren't you drinking? And Mark's like, man, my father's a pastor and my mother was killed by a drunk driver. And you're like, holy shit, Mark, you ruined my birthday. Why did you say that out loud? Oh my God. It's like you just sucked the energy out of a Dave and Buster's, and I did not know that was possible. Oh my God. There's now people crying next to skee ball. So thanks for that. That's not I'm going to go talk to Lucas. All right, Mark, have a good time at my party. And you go over to Lucas and you're like, hey, Lucas, why aren't you drinking? And Lucas is like, I don't know, man. I blacked out, drove my car into a church, and I killed Mark's mom. And it's like, holy shit. That's I did not know you knew each other. Small world. You want to go ahead and take this. I got the light, so I'll get out of here on this last thing. It's been super fun. I've been doing an incredible amount of research on Jackie Chan because I am unemployed, and I've learned a lot about him. Jackie Chan's my favorite actor of all time, but this is the most interesting fact I've ever learned about Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's mother was an opium smuggler, and Jackie Chan's father was an international Chinese spy, which means Jackie Chan grew up inside the plot of a Jackie Chan film. That is what he did, and it's very impressive to me. I don't want to use up too much time. That felt like a good moment to end. Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been wonderful.
Winston Hodges, everyone. Thank you, Winston. Well. So, Winston, you said, just so I'm not confused or anything, you said you are obviously we established you're from Farmville. You got your comedy in Richmond.
Yes.
But now you're based in Arlington, Virginia.
Yep, I was in DC for a little bit and then just moved into the suburbs about a month ago.
Okay.
All over.
Awesome. I'm acquainted with the area. I mean, I've been to the National Cemetery in Arlington. I mentioned before the show, my father used to live in Alexandria. He was stationed there. Okay. Cool. No, but I hope everything is well in NVA.
Yeah, so far so good.
All right. So a couple pieces of business before we get to our next comic. Dan, how is the Facebook Live feed looking?
You know, it looks great. I see a lot of people watching, and I thought I'd give some shout-outs to the people that I see there. First is Mark Romanowski, he watches every week at home with his wife, Jordan. Another one is Mitch Kessler, our friend from One Group Mind. He was on our team Flint and Tin. Always great to see you, Mitch. Mm-hmm. Then I did see Francesca Lyn, who's also performing in this show. Thanks for liking this. Thanks for liking that. Emily Patterson, another friend that we met at the Comedy Clubhouse. Karen Hurley Shia, my girlfriend Sally LaRue is watching at home, and Bob Browse is also watching. Yeah, that's all I got. Back to you, Stu.
All right. So when Dan and I moved our show to Shakers on Clark in July 2018, we began a 2-man campaign to save Chicago Barprov. So for the unfamiliar, barprov, obviously a portmanteau for bar improv, but not necessarily exclusive to improv. Basically just an opportunity to see free comedy in a bar that happens to include improv. Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of a weird go-around way of describing it. So Dan and I cut our teeth during, I guess, what you consider the halcyon days of the Chicago Barprov community. We did most of our shows, at least during the first 5 years of our existence, at the Underground Lounge in Wrigleyville. But there used to be shows everywhere, scattered all over the north side of the city. I mean, you had Crocodile Lounge, you had Mullins, you had AJ Hudson's, Jerry Sandwiches. I'm tripping up on some of the other bars that used to host shows, the Horseshoe. And one by one, these shows started getting canceled. Some of these bars started going out of business. People just started moving in a different direction in general. So by the summer of 2018, the very concept of Barprov in Chicago had its back against the wall. And Dan and I kind of want to be that tent pole for seeing free comedy variety while you're getting shit-faced.
Mhm.
As an incentive for maintaining the quote-unquote tradition of Chicago Barprov, we have established this Improv Tip Jar. I designed it myself. It took like an entire afternoon. And yes, there is cash inside this tip jar. This tip jar is an opportunity for our audience to interact with the performers, but at the same time, a way of giving back to our performers. And as it happens, at the moment, we have $35.98 inside the barprov tip jar, which means split 7 ways, all of our performers tonight are going home with $5.14. We did not tell any of our performers this evening that this was technically a paying gig. So if you would like to donate to our show tonight, you can Venmo me or Dan. It's not a competition. You can Venmo one of us, and we will still split all the tips 7 ways. I believe my Venmo is right above there.
Mhm.
So if you are enjoying the show and you want to give back, please do so throughout the show. We'll post a Venmo again at some point later in the evening. Without further ado, our Richmond trilogy continues with another excellent comic. Please welcome Kim Villamera.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for the introduction. First and foremost, I want to wish everyone a happy Women's History Month.
Woo.
And I want to be able to tell you guys my tiny ass contribution to history. I am the first Asian woman to have ever won the Virginia Beach Roast Championship. After 14 different shows, thank you. After 14 different shows, I'm the first one to ever do that. But when I explain it to people, it always just sounds like the worst porno debut ever. It was me versus 11 male comedians, and I'm telling you, I feel like more people went and watched that than if I actually debuted a porno. I really wish I could tell you guys that this is the first time a woman got paid to humiliate insecure men, but who am I to kink shame? I wish I could tell you it also opened up more doors for me in comedy, but in contrary, it just opened a lot more doors to underground BDSM dungeons. And I didn't believe that roasting men could be what they describe as a desired niche skill set. So that's definitely something I'm going to put on my LinkedIn after this. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I actually enjoyed my time in quarantine. It gave me a lot of time to reflect, and it gave me time to look back at my high school years, which is fucking morbid for anyone. But I want to tell you guys a story about my freshman year. There used to be a girl that hated my guts. And I don't know why, couldn't tell you a reason. I'm sort of a delight to be with on all my report cards. She tried to spread a rumor about me saying that I was a slut, which is hurtful, right? That's a like sort of a common teenage movie trope about something that can actually really hurt a lot of girls' lives. But do you know what was really fucking hurtful about that? Is that the fact that no one believed her. And these punk ass kids, we could literally have discussions about the existence of aliens and God, but the idea that I was a slut, unfathomable. It was easily dismissed. Wait till these bitches realize who I grew up to be. But now that I'm all grown up, I've taken the time to reflect on who I am now. And on this journey of self-discovery, I've come to a conclusion. I'm sort of hot, which is a narcissistic thing to say, but like this is growth, honey. This is like development, years in the making kind of thing. And you just heard me about my like high school years. I didn't realize I was going to be like hot. I was content at being cute and quirky. I was going to be like the snack that smiles back, goldfish, you know, but like the fact is now I'm considered a threat to someone's relationship, which is nice. And now I'm sort of considered a Thanksgiving feast, which is a really big change in growth. But like, it sort of made me empathize with like hot people. And I didn't have that sense of empathy beforehand, but like, to tell you the truth, it's a burden. It's a freaking responsibility. Like, I can tell you why. I was like, do you know how many strange men out there believe that they deserve a hug from me? Apparently a fucking lot. Wait till COVID ends and they're all going to come out of the woodwork, and they're also going to realize that I grew up poor, which means I majored in debt dodging. And so none of these men are going to see a hug from me for ages or till I die. I quietly hear all of you guys thinking like, Kim, oh my gosh, that means you must be getting a lot of ass. I was like, nah, my homies, that means I'm getting harassed. And I was like, a continuous trial and tribulation I now must carry the burden with. And I was like, to tell you guys more about my background, I come from a traditional Filipino Catholic family. And growing up, my parents realized they can't carry every tradition and cultural value from the homeland to over here. And so they've adapted to being very open-minded, which I love. And here's an example of that. For the majority of my life, my mom has been ready for me to come out, which is lovely. She's ready to be that LGBTQ plus mom out the get-go. And she would come up to me all the time and tell me, Kim, just tell me you're gay. I'm going to love you anyway. Just tell me you're gay. How awesome is that? How awesome is that to have such an unconditionally loving, caring mother? But like, do you know what the heartbreak in that is? I'm fucking straight. And there is no Degrassi episode, there is no rom-com that teaches you how to come out straight to your mom. As a cis heteronormative woman, I thought I would be spared that burden, but here I am having to come out to my mom. And let me tell you, like, it's not easy. One day it just came out during my sister's birthday dinner, which is the most timely thing you could ever do. She comes up to me unprovoked and she goes, Kim, just tell me you're gay. I'm going to love you anyway. I finally had enough. I finally screamed in the top of my lungs in front of everyone. I was like, Mom, I'm not gay. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm sort of a slut. The eerie silence covered the room like a deep fog. And after a few seconds, you can hear my mom say, that's okay. I love you anyway. I was like, how awesome is that to have such a caring mom, for her to take the news so well. But I realized that some other people didn't take the news very well, because you can hear my dad in the background going, I'd rather you be gay. And I can't please anybody. I can't please everybody. To harp on my dating life, it's been rather interesting navigating dating, being young, thick, and Asian. And like, being thick isn't a surprise to me, nor a surprise to anyone else. It's like, if you had eyes, you could clearly see that. I knew I was thick at a young age because there is not a plastic chair out there that threatens my peace every day. Mm-hmm. What was a bigger surprise is the number of men that ask me to sit on their face, which is odd and an audacious act in itself. But who do I look like if I make men sign liability forms for that act? And I imagine, like, I think about the Target clerk all the time, and if he ever found out what I use my squatty potty for. And I don't think I could ever come back if he found out what I used it for. I knew I was thick a while back because I only knew George Foreman for his grill. I didn't realize he did other things other than make this amazing grill. If it wasn't for someone that said, do you realize George Foreman is a heavyweight champion? And I had to be like, well, thanks to his grill, I'm heavyweight too. And I'm the type of girl that, like, I knew I was thick because, like, my milkshake does bring all the boys to the yard, but clearly I'm not sharing, which is the issue. And I sort of wish that dowries were still a thing, not because I think women should be considered property. It's definitely because I sort of wish there was a Kelly Blue Book value on standards. And back in the day, like a woman used to be worth like 20 goats and an acre of land. But like this Asian made 1995 model definitely has slept with a boy for a 10-piece chicken nugget meal and a sweet tea. So I want to know if that's like above standard or below standard, if I'm asking the right price, you know, just the general facts about who I am. But like what's also odd is navigating cultural differences when you're dating someone outside of your race. And it's hard to explain a lot of times because you grew up so differently. And especially I am one that loves to indulge in dating white men. I don't know why I give them time, but here I am. But there was this one situation that was hard to explain. I was sleeping with this white boy, and all of a sudden we were doing normal Tuesday activities, and I'm hogtied and blindfolded on his bed, you know, normal stuff. And he comes up to my ear trying to scare me, and he goes, "Whoosh, whoosh." And I said, "What?" Pause. And I told him to take the blindfold off, and he's scared. And he's like, "What's wrong? What's happening?" And I said, "You can't scare me with brown punishment. I used to be hit with a shoe, all the belts in the closet, plastic hangers, God's might and God's love. If you wanted to scare me, you got to try harder than that." And then all of a sudden, I looked at him and I was like, "What if I tried to scare you with white mom punishment? What if I had you tied up to a timeout chair, blindfolded, and I go up to your ear and I go, 3, 2, 1. Tell me how your actions can affect others. Use your words, count to 10. Tell me how you really feel." And then after the end of sex, whether I mainly lose and he always seems to win, he's going to get a participation trophy. Do you know why? Just for trying. That's why. And then so that's how I'm going to end my set. And I thank you guys for your time.
Kim Villamera, everyone. That was delightful. Thank you. Hey, Dan, how's the feed looking?
You know, it looks good. It seems like I see some people react. I don't see any new people, unfortunately. So if there is anyone new, you can let us know by either liking the feed or commenting. And actually, oh, you know what? I spoke too soon. I thought I'd give a shout out to Helen Rye, who just liked the feed.
All right, awesome. Well, I hope you're enjoying the show, Helen. Also, if you have missed any part of the show so far, this whole show will be saved and archived on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page right when this show ends, which will probably be around 8:20 Chicago time this evening. And now the final part of our Richmond trilogy. Please welcome to our show, Francesca Lyn.
I feel like maybe I suggested that music, or maybe I just gave the instructions of just make me sound cool, because I've decided that I'm 35 now. I'm just old, and I'm here alone in my house in front of my laptop in my bedroom. Instead of, I used to do comedy, and now I guess I just talk to myself for days on end. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm pretending that there's an audience. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying not to actively disassociate. Yeah, I am from Virginia, technically, like all the other people on this show, being that I went to grad school here, but I live here now, but I'm actually don't ask me any questions about Virginia. I have no idea what's going on besides the city of Richmond. I'm actually from Florida. I'm from really Florida. My high school mascot was just a sad, sick killer whale with heat stroke. Yeah, that's Florida. Yeah, I don't have any other things to say about Florida. I get told that I look smart a lot. I get that as a compliment. I look smart. Just for anyone listening to this, not a compliment. It's not what we want to, that's not what we want to hear. Like when we're trying to look pretty and good. Kind of like giving like a microbiologist a compliment, like you're the prettiest microbiologist. It's like, thank you, but like that's not what we're going for. Yeah, it's not going on. Oh yeah, Kim mentioned it's Women's History Month. It is. It's Women's History Month. Yes, please clap. I'm thinking a lot about this as a woman, about how I'm gonna make my mark, what I'm gonna do to really like kind of, you know, burst through those barriers. And I've decided I'm gonna be a serial killer. There's not a lot of lady serial killers. There's not a lot of Black serial killers. I might be the first Black lady serial killer. But I know this got really murdery for a second, but hear me out. Like I have a good idea with this. I'm only going to kill the people that really deserve it. I'm gonna go after the women that listen to true crime podcasts. Isn't this what they've been training for? Right? And people might be like, Francesca, how are you going to find these women? These are all mostly basic ass white ladies. These are my people. I love basic ass white ladies. I know their haunts, their grounds will become my hunting grounds. I'm gonna be at TJ Maxx getting all the raid done. I'm gonna be at the cidery. I'm gonna be at the store that sells like just gift items for some reason, like overpriced kitchen things. Like what is that store? Only white people go there. Yeah, I might even start a podcast that's just called You're Next. But that might be a little too obvious. Like, I don't know. I'm still workshopping these ideas. Please let me know in the comments if you, because I really want to make sure I get that like count up. I got to make it count. Women's History Month only comes around once a year, right? Yeah. Is anyone else like nostalgic for the like beginning part of quarantine? Like I find myself missing, like we all like, we're like, oh, we're in this together. We're going to hunker down. It kind of had like a camping, I don't know. It had like a camping feel to me a little bit, but then also like, I never understood like why the apocalypse had to have so much banana bread. Like, what was happening? Why was that a thing? I do not get it. One thing about these, I like these virtual shows because I mean, even before this, I didn't really love leaving my house. Like it's cool to be able to do this like in my actual bedroom and not have to worry about things that make me anxious, like other people and like just like if there is parking. But it is humbling because like you really do find out the answer that like not only did your friends like not come to your shows originally, like they won't even come to your shows if they don't have to put pants on. Like they're not here. I even had like my dad, the last time I was on a virtual show, he wrote on the Facebook event for it, he wrote, I wish I could be there. Like, Dad, like you're there. Like you're already there. All you have to do is like not turn off your iPad and like stop virtual slots. Like I don't understand. Like he's retired. He has nothing else to do. Yeah, I have like oh my God, but my dad's the best. I have a Chinese Jamaican dad, meaning he's ethnically Chinese, but was born and grew up in Jamaica. That also means that he is always disappointed in me. But he sounds really cool while he's doing it. Oh my God. Oh, not too relatable with the what, y'all don't have Chinese Jamaican dads to reference. Oh my goodness. I already mentioned I'm 35. I'm getting tired, y'all. It's all of this is tiring. Being a teacher online is tiring. But what else is really making me tired is that people keep sending me articles on burnout. Yeah, that's really the thing that makes people feel a lot better. Basically giving everyone like a homework assignment in how to rate all of this. I guess this is not going well either. Yes. Anyways, what I'm saying is I'm tired. This burnout articles are not a good idea because all you're doing is giving me another reading assignment that I don't have time to read. Maybe just send me a cookie. Like, or money is good. All of your tired friends, just give them $5. Yeah. I'm missing outdoors and outside. I'm kind of sick of living this little black girl Emily Dickinson existence that I'm living right now. But I'm not missing that. I've gotten to the age where like all of my girlfriends, when we go out to drink, we have to have like an activity while the drinking is happening. Like we can't just like go out and drink. And I don't like that because I feel like I came this far. I thought drinking was the activity. Like I thought that, yeah, we're drinking the alcohol. Like I don't want to have to do yoga with a bunch of goats at a brewery to go and hang out. I don't want to do this. Or like, I don't want to have to, all of a sudden everyone was having a book club. I don't like, why do we have to read? Why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this? Just give me the wine. And the one that was the most aggravating for me is like, there's like places where you can go, or even sometimes like the breweries and wineries have it, where you like put together like a terrarium or something. And you're making like this little plant habitat. So I'm like, no, all you're doing is like, you're giving me like a task that I'm going to fail at. And then a chore I have to take care of until I kill all of these plants. I mean, the only upside of that is that I'm really getting a lot of good people to possibly be my next for my body count for my basic butcher serial killing. Yeah, I'll get off on this. I'll get off on that, and that was my set. I'm Francesca Lyn. Thank you all very much. I'm gonna go hide in the hole now. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Francesca Lyn, everyone. You know, Francesca makes a really valid point. I mean, there are, when she started talking about the lack of a diversity in serial killers, the first name that came to mind was Eileen Wuornos. And then Rachel had messaged, "Eat your heart out, Eileen Wuornos." As you don't know, was the inspiration of the 2003 film Monsters, to actually they're on.
Also, to keep it regional, the DC sniper was black.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Beltway sniper. Yeah.
Rachel is full of facts, and I love it.
Thank you.
But I mean, in the back of my mind, I was just thinking, why should white guys monopolize wearing belts made of human nipples? Just something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Dan, how's the live feed looking?
The live feed looks great. It seems like a lot of the same people are still watching. But yeah, I think if anyone new has joined, feel free to like the stream or comment on it, and we will be sure to get you a shout out. Also, if you're enjoying the show today, keep in mind we do the show every Wednesday and every Sunday. And if you would like to stay up to date on when the next show is, it is every Wednesday and every Sunday at 7. But if you want even more reminders, you can like the Flower Shop Bangers on Facebook, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yep, we just surpassed 600 likes on Facebook.
Yep.
And the sky's the limit. Hey, why not make it 650 tonight? Who knows? All right. Also, just want to remind you, we still have this Improv Tip Jar. All of our performers are still going home tonight with at least $5.14. Our next comic was first in our show. It was about a month ago. She is presently based in Boston. So, of course, naturally, we had her in our all Massachusetts show. But she is originally from Arlington, Virginia. So she also qualifies for our all Virginia show. Please welcome back Rachel Dunbar.
You're playing the Yes, that was the New Edition song that I walked on to, and your Boston one, because they're from Boston.
Yep.
Yay. All right. I don't know, where did everybody go? Oh, anyway, come back, everybody. All right, happy Black History Month, everybody. That's right, you heard me. I know it's not February, but guess what? I don't need some calendar, okay, to tell me when Black History Month is over. You know? Especially not the white man's calendar, right? It's got Black History Month, the shortest month of the year. And this is such an exciting time for me in the year because, you know, it's Black History Months. You know, Martin Luther King Day was back in January. You know, it's like in exchange for all the bad things that have happened to Black people in this country, America has given us the greatest gift of all, the winter time. You know, it's just that prime barbecuing, block party weather. Because, you know, if there's one thing that Black people are known for, it's making soup. Yeah. So in honor of Black History Month, I thought I'd share a few things with y'all. Like my Venmo username. I'm not kidding. Get your phones out. I know you have the app. My username is Rachel-Dunbar-5. Let's go. I'm trying to get my reparations this year. If you don't have money for me, that's fine. I will take large plots of land. Or a mule. Matter of fact, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the land. I just really want a mule. Mama's got things she's got to transport. You know, my favorite thing about Martin Luther King Day is when white moderates will post quotes from Dr. King on Facebook that are out of context and don't acknowledge systemic racism or the Black community today. It's like, you know, judge not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have no Black friends. You know? Or I'm not racist. I know how to copy and paste. And I get to tell them that Martin Luther King would have hated them. It's true. Also, Martin Luther King, a total nerd, by the way. He was a huge Star Trek fan. So if you really do want to like authentically quote the Reverend Doctor, you can just be like, Star Trek rocks. Or what was it that he said in his famous March on Washington? Like, I had a dream that my 4 little children will live long and prosper. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. It's a direct quote. I was recently mistaken for another Black female comic. And this is something that happens to Black people a lot. Like white people will mix us up with like the one other Black person that they know. And so my question for white people is this, right? How do you keep mixing up your Black coworkers, but you like have enough space in your brain for like all of the dog breeds? Like how does that work? I actually put together a get together for Black comics online, and this white guy came to my post and he was like, you know, oh, why is it got to be just for Black comics? Like, you know, you wouldn't like it if we made a space just for white comics, you know. And he reported me for racism. And you know, like the whole like the worst part of the interaction with this guy was like his last name was like Jankowski or something like that. And I was like, Jankowski, wait, like that's like Polish, right? Like that's not even a top tier white, you know? Like it's bad enough to have someone be racist towards me, but for that person to be like a second string white, like that's just embarrassing. Right? It's like Jankowski, give me a wasp or something. Like give me like a winterberry or something like that. Like for those of you who are confused, like in the grand scheme of things, like Polish people are like the Randy Quaid of white people. You know, they're just the homeless, drug addicted brother to the wasp that gets to be in Frequency and the Parent Trap movies. Anyway, also every time somebody is racist towards me, it just makes me want to act blacker. You know, like coming up with 100 different uses for the peanut, act black, invent all forms of popular music, you know, become the 44th president of the United States. You know, there goes Rachel just lowering everyone's gas prices. She's acting black. Yeah. So I'm also I'm proud pansexual person. You're welcome. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically like being bisexual but more specialer. It's very reward. It's when you're attracted to people all across the gender spectrum, it's very rewarding to be attracted to all of the people and have none of them like you back. It's a big problem in the queer community. Speaking of which, I've been thinking recently about all the people who have made the gay community look bad, you know, like Ellen DeGeneres and Pete Buttigieg and Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, because when Jeffrey Dahmer got caught, all the gays were like, damn it, Jeffrey, you were just supposed to eat the ass. And I know what some of you were thinking. You're like, you had no idea Jeffrey Dahmer was gay. That's okay. The police investigating his crimes had no idea either. Like when they found out that Dahmer was picking up his victims from gay bars, they were like, well, he just likes to go there for the music. You know, he just cannot get enough Donna Summers. The police were so convinced of Jeffrey Dahmer's innocence that when one of his victims tried to escape, the police brought that guy back to Jeffrey Dahmer's house. And so the police, like, I get that you're so bad at your job that you have no idea something murdery is happening, but you see this like half naked, drugged out kid with this older guy. Like, you have to at least know that something gay is going on, right? Apparently, the police officer that returned Jeffrey Dahmer's victim back to him went on to become the president of the Milwaukee Police Union. Like, just imagine the collective bargaining agreement that guy pushed for. Like, okay, we want, you know, paid overtime. We want 5 vacation days a year. And every once in a while, we get to return a victim back to a serial killer. I'm adopted and my parents are white. And my siblings are adopted as well. So I'm Black, my sister's Indian, my brother's Vietnamese, and our parents are white. So when we go out together, we don't look like a family. We look like a focus group. My parents are two very, very different white people. There's a saying in the Black community where, like, if you're down with us, you're invited to the cookout. So I tell people my dad would be invited to the cookout. My mom would be like his plus one. She's kind of a white devil. Like, no matter where we go, like, she has to complain to the manager. And like, we went to dinner one time and we're at this restaurant and she ordered a salad and she just had to complain to the manager about the salad. Like, the big crime of this restaurant, there was iceberg lettuce in the salad, and therefore the salad was unremarkable. And I remember the manager was like, ma'am, this is a steakhouse. We think the salads are unremarkable too. My dad's a really goofy white guy. He's white, but he loves singing Negro spirituals. You know, I'll just walk in the living room and he's going, swing low, sweet chariot. I'm like, Dad, you're not doing a Black thing right now. You're trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle. Yeah, I got made fun of a lot for not being Black enough growing up when I was in high school. And I remember this one girl named Tiffany that gave me a really hard time. And I told my dad this and he goes, you know what you should do? Just go up to Tiffany and be like, Tiffany, save the drama for your mama. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go right up to this Black chick and tell her to save the drama for her mama. No, right before I tell her that she's toe up from the flow up and that she should check herself before she wrecks herself. I'm like, what other outdated slang do you have for me, Dad? Why don't you go sing about wading in the water? And if you laugh at that joke, you are invited to the cookout. We listen to a lot of white music in our house, as you can imagine. Like, a lot of Fleetwood Mac. That's a white band. I didn't listen to a lot of music by Black artists until I started making friends with Black kids later on in life. And I remember this one time we were all hanging out, and we were listening to music, and they were playing Stevie Nicks' "The Edge of 17." So we're all, singing along, and turns out it wasn't "The Edge of 17." It was Destiny Child's hit "Bootylicious," which just samples "The Edge of 17." So while everyone else is going, "Kelly, can you handle this? Michelle, can you handle this? Beyonce, can you handle this?" I'm going, "Just like the wild wings dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing." Hey, I'm Rachel Dunbar. That's my time. Thank you.
Rachel Dunbar, everyone. Thank you, Rachel. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Most
Glad to
welcome.
be here.
Absolutely. Dan, another Facebook Live check-in.
Yes, I thought I would give a shout out to Becca Walensky, who says, "Go Rachel Dunbar." So great set, Rachel.
Yay! That's my friend.
All right, awesome. Also, a little bit of foreshadowing Rachel's set. It just so happens that our next show this coming Sunday is all Polish.
Oh.
Yeah, we're celebrating Pulaski Day a few days late. It's gonna be wall-to-wall comics that are of Polish heritage. We weren't able to find anyone who's in Poland. I don't know if Poland even has Facebook, but we have a whole bunch of comics that are Polish American, and it just so happens Dan and I are Polish American in our own right. We're both Polish on our mom's side.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
normally I promote our next show right before the last act, but I just thought I'd point that out. Also, as you can tell from this very massive sign behind me, I happen to run a comedy page in my own right called Stu News. Stu News is on the verge of 1,900 likes. It is an opportunity for me to post quick takes on things that are going on in the news. Late night style monologue jokes, topical jokes. Feel free to like and follow at facebook.com/Stu News. You can read the fine print there. Or you could just follow me on Twitter at HeyStu818. Without further ado, our final comic of the evening. Really talented, really very kind, sweet man. I first met him at I.O. Chicago 10 years ago. We both graduated from I.O. at the same time. We were in different classes, but we were in the same level. He went on to be on a Herald team, and I didn't. He went on to become, I would say, has had some moderate success as a comic out in New York City. I haven't. He released a comedy album called Clean Comedy that was #1 on Spotify in April 2019. I do this show. It really is a pleasure to have in our show, in Roanoke, by way of Brooklyn, Zach Zimmerman.
Woo!
Woo!
Where's my fun entrance song, Stu? I don't get a cool.
Oh, it just has a long intro, that's all.
You'd be a terrible DJ. You gotta get the beat drop right on the 0 second mark.
Damn, I know. I need to work on that.
Don't worry, Stu. I too am a failure in my own right in so many ways. If the pandemic has taught us anything. But it's so nice to be here with everyone. I 4 months ago, I was like, I'm going to take a stand-up sabbatical and not do comedy for a minute, just lean into that. And then I didn't tell anyone, but people stopped asking me. So the universe listened, and Stu answered its call. And so this is me coming out of 4 months of retirement to tell the jokes to the people. I messaged my friend Jay. I was like, I feel physically ill. I'm about to do comedy. I think my body's like trying to tell me something. And he's like, how are you nervous in your own home? And I said, you must have a big dick, Jay. What, you've never been nervous, or he doesn't have a mouse problem like I do. I'm constantly nervous. I do think the pandemic has affected everyone in different ways. I have I've been lucky to dodge the worst of it. I am getting just softer as a person, though. I used to text my friends, "Hey, faggots." Now I text them, "Sending you love and healing energy on this blessed Sunday afternoon." I'm just like softer now. Phone calls, they're lasting 2 hours at this point, and we're from the South, all of us here, or most of us, or spent some time there. Our goodbyes are kind of like best man speeches, like, okay, hey, I'm gonna let you go. Want you to know you're my rock. Ever since middle school, you've been, Jackie's a lucky girl. She really is. I mostly feel bad for pandemic telemarketers because I pick up. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're selling. Hi, Mr. Zimmerman. Can we talk to you about your car insurance? I don't own a car, but I'd love to talk. Please press 1 for more info. It's a recording. Okay. I live by myself in this tiny little studio, which I used to think it was an achievement. It really just means I have to chew my food very thoroughly. I cut my grapes in half now because no one will come to save me. It's not bougie living in a studio. I mean, I do breakfast in bed, but it's really a logistical necessity at this point. I can fluff my comforter and saute vegetables without shifting body weight. It's this tiny little thing. I am trying to cook more, eat out less. I am supporting some local businesses, but I'm trying to save money, though cooking is expensive. Like, I'm going to need a small business loan to make this shakshuka. I'm running around, hunting down all these spices. That's what got white people into trouble in the first place. So I've been trying to invent some of my own recipes. Things that I'm, not proud of are happening in my kitchen. I made what I call redneck risotto, which is rice and mayonnaise. That's it. And cheese salad I came up with. That's shredded cheddar cheese. You cover it in ranch, and then you try to look at yourself in the mirror afterwards. For dessert, you can try peanut butter ice cream, which is just ice cream, peanut butter that I put in the freezer and eat over the course of 3 days. Peanut butter, it's Jesus in the tomb. It lasts 3 days in my house. And I am going to release a new cookbook with all of this, 2-minute ingredients, 2-minute recipes with 2 ingredients. It will be self-published. Quarantine, 15 months at this point. I started showing at 8 weeks. I won't lie. And the baby's not coming. That's right, my friends. I'm trying to drop some pounds. I've been doing the intermittent fasting. I don't know if anybody does that. It means after 8 o'clock at night, I can't have any joy for the rest of the evening. And I've tried the Whole30, a lot of farts, not to be crass. And now I'm on the keto, which is fun. It's no carbs, high fat, best of all, doesn't work. And I'm on it for the Facebook groups. There's all these, I don't know if people are still on Facebook or if I'm allowed to be. I really shouldn't. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg. But I'm on Facebook for the keto groups, and people share recipes, memes. The new members are like, "Is pizza keto?" And everybody's like, "No, read the rules." Every few weeks, there's a post that's like, "Hey guys, we're actually going to be deleting the group today. Please join this new group." And everybody takes it really hard. They're like, "You're deleting the group? This is a source of inspiration for me. Yes, this is my keto family right here." Then the moderators swoop in and say, "No, that's from a rival Facebook keto group trying to poach the membership." And then everybody's like, "Sabotage." What are we going to do? We have to get back at them. And suddenly, they're posting brownie recipes, lying, saying it's only 1 carb. They got fake before and after pictures posted in the other groups. Who's going to bring peace to the land amidst the great Facebook keto wars? I don't know who. My question is, who is investing so much of their time and life into moderating groups about different ways to eat and prepare cheese? That's what I need to know. And it's moms in pyramid schemes. That's mostly what it is. I joined my mom's pyramid scheme recently just to understand her more, and it's been quite eye-opening. It's it's messy. Mom's also in QAnon. I don't know if we have any QAnon sympathizers here tonight. My thing is, like, she didn't let me read Harry Potter growing up, so I don't know why she gets to read fantasy by problematic authors now. That doesn't seem fair in any way for her to go off the deep end. But I'm not giving space to my conservative parents. I don't have any tolerance or time. They are, I forgot, is the other pastor, Winston's father mentioned it was a pastor. My dad was a pastor too. My dad's a pastor. Mom's a server, same job, make sure things don't burn. You know, we're saving souls and the dishes. But I was Christian growing up. In college, I studied religion and theater. It was a double major in lies with a minor in asking people for money. I got very good at that. But I gave it up my freshman year, became a gay vegetarian atheist. Do we have any vegetarians here tonight? Maybe some of us. No. Okay, that's good. I became vegetarian when I gave up Christianity because I need some way to think I'm better than other people. And vegetarian provides that. I will say, though, the pandemic has challenged my vegetarianism because I did have to kill a mouse. On the one hand, may we decrease the suffering of all sentient beings. On the other hand, I can't do roommates. No, like when Mickey Mouse pays rent, he can stay. So I bought the traps. I don't know if you've ever had to buy mouse traps. There's some very expensive ones, and then there's the ones that work. And so I bought the ones that work, covered my house in them. They say you put peanut butter in them. You can do cheese or peanut butter. Mice are on keto, friendly for both. And I thought, I don't want to kill the mouse, but I thought it might happen in the nighttime or something. No, I made eye contact when the little mouse went to little mouse heaven. Like the guillotine came down, I catch his eyes, watch his body like writhe before he ascends to Disneyland. And I started crying, and I cried as I put another trap down. This is my house. Ratatouille, get out of here. I've been in New York this whole time. I love New York. It's my playground. I cry and get hurt a lot here. Things are starting to reopen. They're making the announcements. Hey, now there's dining. You can do this. It feels like you're a Dickensian orphan. You're like, you hear the news? Mm-hmm. There's going to be dinner. Uh-huh. Inside. Bathrooms and all, Governor. Governor Cuomo said it's true. And one thing we're getting concerts back at like 10%, 1,000-seat venues, 10%. I don't miss concerts. I'm 6'4". I'm a concert villain. Yeah. Ooh, I can't wait to see Lady Gaga. You're going to hear Lady Gaga at most, buddy, if you stand behind me. Tall people, our lives are not easy. It's not a walk in the park. It is a quick walk in the park, but we suffer. I'm in a support group for tall boys cast as dads in high school plays. We grew up too fast. We did. And you get a lot of questions when you're tall, sort of like, hey, you play basketball? No, very gay and afraid of the sport. Thank you. Hey, you a natural born leader? More of a coward in a crisis, sir. Yeah. Hey, you got a big dick? Are you familiar with baby cupcakes? And now sometimes all you need is a baby cupcake in order to, never mind. But everybody thinks they want a tall guy. You're like, oh, I want a tall guy. Well, I want to use a downstairs bathroom without getting a concussion. Okay. I'd like to raise my hand and not tickle the feet of God. Okay. Is that an option? But no, everybody wants a tall guy. We're French. We're the little French pugs with the wrinkled faces. We've been bred to look this way for other people's pleasure. We are suffering, trying to chop vegetables on the countertops that are really far down. And, or if we try to cross our legs in the back of a cab, we sound like, or while we're feeding people our baby cupcakes, we sound awful. I think Stu gave me the light. I'll leave you all with a suggestion. I've taken up meditation during the pandemic, which is a nicer way of saying I'm sitting alone in silence for a long time. But I got one of those apps. It helps me do it. It's called Grinder, and 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. That feels like a good. Well, no, there's two more darker jokes. I do have anxiety and depression, but luckily they get along very well. My anxiety's like, everything's wrong. Or no. My anxiety's like, I'm scared of the future. My depression's like, don't worry, anxiety. Whatever happens will be bad. But therapy does help. I'm talking to a great therapist. He said, he said he's glad I'm doing okay last week. Haha, I fooled him again, you guys. Yeah. Here's all my money. You've been conned. I should have ended when I could have, but I didn't. I got greedy. Stu. Went for those 2 final laughs. That's my lesson here. Returning to the game. Get out while you're ahead. It's been an honor to be on this show. Everyone was so damn funny. I haven't laughed this long in a good while. So I appreciate you having me, Stu. Keep up the great work, what you're doing. I love you and life, and go sports. Thank you.
Zach Zimmerman, everyone.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Double Z. And I didn't realize that I had coaxed you out of retirement. You've been out of the game for a few months, but in any case, glad that you were able to, right now I'm just kind of imagining like some sort of like workout montage. You were probably like out jogging and just kind of working on bits. I don't know what it's like for a comic to retire and unretire. So I'm very curious to know kind of what was your mindset kind of going into tonight. Anyway, Zach, thank you so much.
Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'm so glad we were able to coax you out of retirement.
Oh, I was reading the chat about keto and I got distracted.
Oh,
Sorry, that was my bad.
Callback.
No. It's a weird diet. I'm realizing that I didn't know it could give people insomnia. I think that may have happened to me too.
It did. I couldn't sleep at all. I had to stop because I just couldn't. Yeah, I don't know why.
Like you had too much energy from it?
Yeah, I had a lot of energy, and I think I'm someone who's really sensitive to carbs, and carbs would make me be like really sleepy. Like if I eat a bowl of pasta, like get knocked out. And I think because I wasn't eating a ton of carbs, like my body was like, what do I do?
I want to eat a pillow. Where's the sweet, comfortable, soft pillow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Stu.
Oh, you're
Back-
totally fine, Zach. I'm
back
glad we
to
were
you,
having this conversation
Stu.
about diets and health and wellness.
Mhm.
With that said, thank you to all of our comics this evening. Thank you to Zach and Rachel, Kim, Francesca, and Winslow. We sincerely appreciate it. I'm glad.
Winston.
Hopefully,
Winston.
did I say Winslow? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Winston. I am so sorry about that, Winston. This is what happens when I don't have the list of names in front of me. Winston Hodges. Please remember that name, Winston Hodges. You will.
No problem, Steven. We're good.
Couple pieces of business before we get to our last act. Dan, one last look at the Facebook Live feed.
Yeah, sure. I thought I'd give a shout out to Matt Cole, who I see watching. I think Matt's in an upcoming show too, sometime this month, next month.
Yes, in the next couple of weeks. Yes.
There we go. Yeah, he's going to be on, I think, with How Embarrassing, his
That's right.
little improv/podcast thing he's got going on.
Yep. Now that I think about it, it's 3 weeks from tonight. He'll be with our special guest is going to be a former TV writer who's going to be promoting his autobiography.
There we go.
Not to, of course, get ahead of ourselves as far as promoting the show and everything.
Mhm.
Also, hey, this Improv Tip Jar still exists. You can still throw money in the tip jar. And as I mentioned before, we do the show every Sunday and Wednesday. And when we come back on Sunday, March 7th, we are going to be doing our All Polish show. It's a whole Pol-tacular. All of our comics are of Polish heritage, including Amy Palowitz-Young. Well, I'm not going to get through like pronouncing all the names now, but we do have a very phenomenal evening of comedy, and make sure to check that out this Sunday at 7 Central. Without further ado, your final act of the evening are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Wednesdays, who, until almost a year ago, were hosting the show at Shakers on Clark, 3100 block of Clark in Lakeview/Boys Town. They have been performing together for almost 8 years, and will be celebrating their 8th anniversary and their 100th remote show on the same night, Wednesday, April 7th, with special guests Rachel Mason and Susan Messing. They have performed at improv festivals in cities as far away and far-flung and exotic as Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome the regionally renowned Flower Shop Bangers.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Flower Shop Bangers. If you look above, you will see that Stuart and my Venues are up. They will be up for the remainder of this, for our whole set. And any donations given to either of those venues will be split amongst all of the performers tonight. And with that said, we are the Flower Shop Bangers. We're going to do some improv for you, and we get weird with it.
Yay.
Don't smile at me like that. I don't appreciate it.
And I am doing your bidding, sir.
My bidding? You think you're doing my bidding?
Yes, absolutely.
So you think that by going and fetching my morning paper, you are doing my bidding?
Yes.
I will
that's
tell you what
precisely-
my bidding is. My bidding is not necessarily always reading the newspaper. You think that's my bidding.
Oh,
My bidding is actually making me oatmeal in the morning. Can you make me some oatmeal?
oh yes, absolutely. I would absolutely love to.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You see, Gregor,
Yes.
my morning routine is very important to me, and I know. You're the new assistant. But you see, I believe in discipline. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't know that an evil genius has to have discipline. Morning routine's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the paper is part of it, but I kind of I need to be a little evil. I need to throw you off guard. That's part of my character. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to tell you, you're never quite doing anything exactly right. It's a power dynamic.
I just want to be subservient.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean, I get it. I mean, you are an eccentric recluse multimillionaire,
Mhm.
and I am your vaguely Eastern European lapdog.
Yes.
Your lackey, as it were. And
Mhm.
oatmeal's ready. Here you go,
There
sir.
we go. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Oh,
And I do what I can to serve you. I don't run into too many reclusive multimillionaires on Craigslist.
I got you. Yes. No. I was going to ask something, Gregor. Did you follow the instructions on the microwave on how to heat? Oh, you did.
Is it too
like-
cold, sir?
It's actually too hot.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm actually going to require you to blow on it.
I would be honored.
Thank you.
Yes. Please let me know if it is to your liking.
Actually, now it's too cold.
Ah!
I'm sorry. You did 2 deep breaths. It really only required 1.
Would you like me to put it back in the microwave, sir?
Yes.
Also, do you like your oatmeal with fresh fruit?
Fresh fruit? No, I'm not really a fresh fruit kind of person. I'm more of a raisins kind of guy,
Oh, I could throw some raisins into the oatmeal.
Dried, pruny.
It would be my honor.
Delicious.
I just so happen to have a whole bag of Sunmates here.
Wow. You just came equipped with raisins. I have never had an assistant who came equipped with raisins.
I wanted to make a positive impression, sir.
And so you came with raisins? How'd you know raisins?
I had a premonition.
Oh.
Sometimes you just look at a man and you think, this guy likes to eat raisins.
Mm.
Then here's a question for you. Why
Hmm.
did you first offer fresh fruit?
To trick you. Yes.
I see.
Hmm.
So you've picked up on my technique of throwing you off just a little bit.
Yes, I have. It's become quite a game of mental chess, sir. Oh, the oatmeal is ready again.
Okay.
Here you go. I hope it is to your liking.
So I'm going to be honest with you, Gregor. It's 98% there. You see, after the second time in the microwave, it actually dried out a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to eat it anyway. But I'm going to say it does mean that I'm sorry, I can't tip you this morning.
I understand. I mean, I get free room and board, so
Yes.
I'm not necessarily worried about being stiffed on a tip.
Yes. Well, anyway, you know I have several meetings today.
Oh, indeed, yes, indeed. I mean, you have all of these Zoom calls that you have to make. I mean, this must be most beneficial to you, as you do not like to leave the house.
No, I don't like leaving the house at all. No, it's
Yes.
as a matter of fact, it has been quite a good time for me. You know, I'm finding out that world domination doesn't have to happen from an office.
No, of course, of
No.
course. I mean, I know you have an 11 o'clock with Mr. Zuckerman, and then you have a 12 o'clock with Mr. Gates,
Yes.
and then 1 o'clock with Mr. Brin from Google,
Mhm.
and then 2 o'clock you'll have a late lunch.
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
I'm impressed.
I
You know
have
my
everything in the
schedule
notebook.
already.
I have everything in the notebook. I have everything in the planner.
My planner.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hand me my planner for a second? I always like scrolling through the pages.
It would be my honor. Today is Wednesday.
Yes, I see.
Yes.
Yes, I see. You have all of my appointments in there, and
Mm.
you know, I am noticing from my planner, it has been about 6 weeks since I've had a massage. I think that might be a good thing to add. Can you add that in maybe sometime next week? Maybe
It
the next
would be
couple
my
days?
honor. I'll even give you a massage right now.
Right now?
Yes.
I didn't
I
know
have
you gave
some training
massages.
as a massage therapist.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, really, I think that's very generous of you.
That would be a pleasure. Oh, you don't want to put a little baby oil on it, do you?
Oh, no, not at all. Actually, here, let me take this shirt off.
Oh, of course, yes.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. Gregor, I feel like this should have been higher on your resume. This is something.
Oh, I'm a man of many talents, sir. There's so much I could do for you and so little time. I guess I'll have to demonstrate my prowess in a multitude of ways, but not all one at one time.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I'm kind of excited. I feel like I'm gonna learn so much about you. Just oof. Oh, that's the spot. Oh, that's good. Yep. Oh.
Again, I understand if you can't tip, sir.
Yes. No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You know it. I mean, you know, you've kind of come close, but you know, when you mess up my oatmeal, sorry, there's just no tip. Even with that was a very good
Oh,
massage.
I understand.
Yes.
I didn't even ask you if you wanted something to drink, perhaps an orange juice or a milk or just a glass of water.
Oh, lamb's blood would be great.
Oh, lamb's blood. Oh, I just so happen to have some lamb's blood in the fridge.
Oh, good.
Here's your lamb's blood.
Oh, thank you, Gregor.
The pleasure is mine.
So now, Gregor, I'm going to be honest. I don't do this to every single assistant, but I was wondering, I know it's only your first day, but I was thinking of maybe taking you down to the crypt.
Sir, I would be honored.
I knew you would be honored. Everyone's honored to see the crypt, and quite honestly, you know, an assistant seeing the crypt on the first day is not everything. You know, it's
I am absolutely fascinated by sarcophagi.
sarcophagi.
Yes, you know, more than one sarcophagus.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I mean, well, for full disclosure, you are hardly my first multimillionaire, but you certainly are the first that is reclusive, sinister, and vaguely gothic.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I
Mhm.
am an eccentric fellow. I do keep my crypt.
Mhm. Yes. My former employer was just an idiot with money.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't like them.
No. The Nuevo Riche, the the people that have overnight success. I'm
Oh,
we're
yes,
going
yes,
to,
yes.
um,
What did he do? Did he buy GameStop stock? That GameStop stock?
I'm afraid so, sir.
Really?
Yes.
I take it didn't. I mean, once the stock went down, he had to fire you. That's probably what happened, wasn't it?
Yes. Plus, he took a hit with Bitcoin.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Mm.
That's too much. That's too much. These things are going to crash. It's just a matter of time.
But you are a man of 19th century money. You are a sixth generation multimillionaire.
Hmm.
People know your name, and yet no one knows what you look like.
It's true. It's true.
You've been on this mansion on this hill for 125 years, or at least your family.
Yep. You're the only one who's seen me, and
Mhm.
well, really since my last assistant, and I'm hoping you reach a better end than he did. I don't mean to scare you, but
Oh, by no means. I know I will die a grisly death.
hmm
Oh, I know that my passing will not be pretty, nor will it be of natural causes.
hmm
I'm resigned to that. I mean, again, I am, you might say, well, based on the name alone, that I am vaguely Eastern European.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
Yes, I know you're vaguely.
Oh, we must see the crypt.
We must see the crypt. You must
Yes.
come down. Come down to the cellar.
Before your 11 o'clock appointment.
Yes. Here, come down.
Hmm.
You can see around. You can look at it.
Yes. I mean, I'm very impressed by all the art in the hallways here. Was this all stolen from the Nazis?
Don't tell anyone.
Oh, absolutely. Your secret is with me. I'm not even on any social media. I deleted my Friendster last week.
Did you really?
Yes. And, well, my stars. I mean, look at all of these sarcophagi.
There are a lot of sarcophagi. I'm well aware. It's been a bit of a collection.
Goodness, I mean, I love the details on all these caskets.
Yeah, I know. I've been collecting them for a little bit. A lot of my family is buried here, but also a lot of my enemies are also buried here. We've actually, it's kind of a pretty, quite a mixture.
My goodness. I mean, I would be honored to be killed and then thrown into a sarcophagi, just like down here in this crypt.
Really? Is that what you want?
Well, I mean, not anytime soon by any means, sir.
I gotcha. It probably won't be anytime soon, but
Yes.
I mean,
but when the time comes and you feel the need to literally stab me behind my back.
Yes. I mean, that time will come. It's just a matter
Yes.
of time, honestly. I mean, my assistants don't usually last long. You are brand new, so obvious, and honestly, you're probably the best one. Maybe you'll stay alive longer than most of them.
Oh, indeed. But a time will come where I will outlive my usefulness.
Yes.
And I will die under mysterious circumstances, likely at your hand.
Yes.
And it would be an honor and a pleasure if that were to ever happen to me.
Yes.
Yes.
Gregor?
Yes, Mr. Coke?
I have a knife. I don't intend to kill you. I want you to kill me. I haven't been alive for 125 years.
But you don't look a day past 98.
Actually, I'm the third Mr. Coke.
Oh,
No one has seen me for so long. People forget what I look like, and people just assume that I'm here. It's a long-standing tradition. You know, like you've seen The Princess Bride,
oh, of course.
like the Dread Private Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like the kind of same deal. I think I'm the first one who's decided to themselves just, you know, step down at a high note, you know.
That makes perfect sense, sir. But
Yeah.
at the
I
same
mean,
time,
yeah, if you do this before my 11 o'clock, then you can take over. If you don't want to, if you're uncomfortable with this, I guess maybe no, but
well, I would be absolutely honored. Would you prefer to be stabbed in the front or the back?
surprise me.
Oh, okay then. Well, time for my 11 o'clock with Zuckerberg.
And that's our show.
Thank you! Thank you! This has been
Yay.
Virginia Night with the Flower Shop Bangers. We'll be back here this Sunday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Our thanks to all of our comics tonight, too. Winston, Kim, Zach, Francesca, and Rachel. We can't do the show without you. In the meantime, please wash your hands. Please wear a mask or 2 masks. Please stay a minimum